Yo, it's DaBLackKing. And I don't do update videos anymore, as you can tell. So before we get this started, actually, I want to call this a Final Fantasy VII update video. And I know I've got like way too many of them, but I like this new setup. See that right there? It actually works more beneficial in this order than it did on the other phone. So right now, I'm still waiting on it to upload. Look, look at that. I don't have to worry about room and all this crap. So I'm still waiting on that video to upload, which I will actually put it in the description that it actually finished up, or it was actually it uploaded officially on this day and finished uploading on here. Even though actually it originally was recorded and uploaded yesterday, which was the 5th of December for the final month. And I apologize for the lack of videos and lack of doing anything, but I will get back more into it over time. Anyway, this is a Final Fantasy VII update video. So let's do this. Alright. As per usual, this is my file. I don't think this one here is. No, it's not mine either. So this is where I'm at in the game. This is where I'm at. It's at the beginning of the entire game. Oh yeah, except that I'm right here. So what I'll do is, I'll meet you back when it comes time for the actual playthrough to start up again. Oh, this is not my file either, is it? Is this actually my file? It does not look familiar at all. Because I don't remember renaming her, but either way, I probably did. Either way, so, this is it, folks. This is the Final Fantasy VII update video. And, back at the Sector 7 slums and all that crap. Because, I mean, I hate to see this go. And I have to admit that from what I saw, that I have to agree with what someone else said that about this game being, if it's so like unique and all that. I forget what the words he said exactly, but it was better on 012, and we talked about this as it got so much praise. I actually like this game. It's one of my favorite games, but if it's so good and with all this praise and stuff, why does it need a remake? I have to agree with that. Why does it need a remake? Man, even though I have seen the remake and I've been spoiled on it, not too much that I've seen the entire playthrough of it. I have the game, the remake, I just don't have the full remake. I know that doesn't make any sense because if you don't already know, if you've been following what they've been doing with the game, the original creators, what it is they made it episodic. They actually went ahead and released the second one. Now we're waiting on the third one, and I don't know how many more discs we've got to finish this game with. I don't know how many discs they're going to actually release for the entire new game. I wasn't really looking forward to the remake. A lot of people were, which is very sad because the game didn't really need a remake. It might have needed some fixes where they needed to put alright. I guess they could update a lot of things to make it more 3D, but the thing is, they should have kept it like this, but it made it more, much more better of an approach than, say, what remake actually had. It did not live up to this potential. I mean, yeah, some of the mechanics were fine, where you could switch back and forth between characters. That was cool. I have to admit. But, you know, there was no sense in doing what they did. And they screwed up the materia system. Yeah, they did, and it really sucked. It's not even an advanced feature. It's just like a whole brand new game. It's not even Final Fantasy VII. It's like, what is this? This is like a whole brand new telling, and a lot of the story making didn't make any sense. Because, see, living up to the original would have meant you going through here, doing the training hall, which I don't even believe they even had that in the remake. What they have is a lot like what you would have with Ares, but then they put in her name as Aerith, which is stupid, by the way. Anyway, you would have to have gone through here, whereas in the remake, they just have a private meeting, which is stupid. Really, I mean, between them and Tifa, you know, and Cloud's not invited because they don't trust him. I mean, in the beginning, they didn't hardly trust him anyway, but they got to trust him just a little bit more. And again, see, Cloud at this point does not need to be nudged. Cloud is already in it. Once he gets his 15 grand, I mean, unless you count like the freaking remake, it doesn't really mean anything. But in the original, which is this right here, he actually would be still more leaderotic than Vincent, because Vincent Valentine is an optional character. And he is crucial to the story, but he's also not. Just like Yuffie. The thing about Vincent is that he actually is not a leader type guy. He doesn't even want to lead. Cloud kind of didn't want to lead in the first place, but he winds up being a leader overall. He is the more hero of this game. He didn't need to be nudged all the damn time, so that's a basic freaking lie, by the way. That's not true at all. I mean, at this point, we're already in it for the win. And we're going after Shinra. Even though our main goal is ultimately Sephiroth and Genova in this game. Whereas Advent Children, we're going after the Remnant and the and Sephiroth. I mean, we're kind of still going after Shinra in this game, but cause see, really, Vincent's whole storyline is he has no beef with Shinra. He might have had some kind of beef with Hojo and his experiments, but that would have had nothing to do with Shinra. Because see, Hojo was on and off with Shinra anyway, so was Vincent. And when Vincent died, this is the whole story if you actually been paying attention to the game, that Vincent actually was a character that had his moments in the sunlight. Where he actually just, once he cut off all ties, he didn't give a damn who was his enemies or his friends, because basically no one was his friend or enemy when he was done with it all. He actually only gained allies because he was an optional character and become a part of the main crucial storyline. And he wasn't even in Advent Children, he wasn't out there in Shenmue. You know, he doesn't have the ability to be a leader, to lead everybody like Cloud does. Cloud doesn't run and hide. That's not running and hiding. That's Cloud just being Cloud. You know? It'd be like if we said that about Squall. You know? Or any other character in the Final Fantasy universe. They're all hiding or some crap. I mean, like, okay, the very first character in that does this crap similar to this is in Final Fantasy V, and he says something about that what was it that he said? Something about nah, I'm okay. I mean, they had different lines, different ways, but ultimately, even though he winds up ultimately joining and saving all the crystals, Whereas, I mean, see, Final Fantasy's universe did not always evolve around saving all the crystals, which, even though it started out that way, not all games were made where they were saving all crystals. That makes absolute to no sense, but hey, 8 wasn't about saving crystals. 7 wasn't about saving crystals. As a matter of fact, I don't even think 2 was about saving the crystals. I could be wrong, but they had like all the way up to 6 actually. I think it was. I don't think 6 did the crystals. I can't remember which one who did. And I know that 5 was where you save crystals, and 4 you save crystals. I think 3 doesn't. The official 3. It was unfortunately released to Japan before they released it to us. When they actually released it to us officially, it was on PlayStation, which we got left out until PlayStation came along. So, and Game Boy was not a Nintendo feature. Even though the Nintendo and Pokemon, I think, kind of got together when they had, like, I think something happened, I forget, or whatever. And all the characters in the universe of games actually wound up joining other games. It makes no damn sense. I mean, Soul Calibur did it, Smash Bros. Did it, I forget whatever else game did it, but why Mortal Kombat? Personally, I feel that Mortal Kombat should have never been involved in the whole thing, let alone Street Fighter, because Street Fighter started bringing in characters too that should have never been there. They should have kept it what it was, as they advanced characters and made them more unique to the storyline. Because I mean, I know that it's a tournament type thing, but it only involved the characters of that story. So why bring in other characters that have literally nothing to do with it? Literally. It was stupid to begin with when they brought in Cloud in whatever in Smash Bros. And all that crap. I mean, it had to be let go because they did that. But there's no letting it go. Because, I mean, then if we keep letting it go, they're just going to keep doing that to even more tournament games that are stupid. I mean, even though they're like a copycat from one and the other, except the difference is Mortal Kombat had fatality moves. I mean, literal fatality moves. No other game had fatality moves except, or not as brutal. But there was one, actually. That's what they said, everyone. But thinking back on it, actually, Killer Instinct did have fatality moves. That's what Killer Instinct did, except that fatality was not as fatalistic. That's a word I don't know about. I don't know if it is or not. But basically, what I'm trying to say there is that it didn't have it as I mean, yeah, sure, it was bloody and glory, but not as much as Mortal Kombat. I mean, my God. You had going through spikes and stuff like that. But other than that, you really didn't have any other fatality moves. So why are we bringing in characters again? I don't care. It should never be called a fresh perspective, because that's just stupid. Now I know that Goku, or Kakarot, as he's called on the same planet, loved tournaments. He did. But he should have been still left alone in the Dragon Ball universe, where he always had tournaments, because there's always tournaments left and right, whether it was in the dead world or on the human planet, where he's had tournaments. And he was kind of raised around tournaments. I say kind of, but not fully. He was actually, he was being prepared for tournaments and getting stronger with the tournaments and everything to help him do that. So, see, even in Dragon Ball Super, even though the GT, I know, is not a canon type story, it did not have No, wait a minute. Yes, it did. I forgot about that. Never mind. Yeah, they did, but it wasn't as heavily as it was in the Dragon Ball universe of the canon wise. So that kind of sucked. So basically, what you have is characters that do not belong. They're out of place. It's like, why are we bringing this butter bull crap? It's like when they decided to do Death Battle with Goku versus Superman. Goku lost twice thanks to people who voted, which I thought was really stupid and unfair towards Goku and characters. His character development in the way he was made to be just an average overall character, and it was just stupid and period anyway to make it like a death battle because these two were great superheroes, great giants, and it's a shame. I mean, because literally Goku could have, if he wanted to, with his power, with his unique, I forget what he calls it. Instant transmission could have taken him to a place to where he could have put him where he was right next to kryptonite, and he would have died easily. But they didn't want to do that. They just made it to the point that no matter what Goku did, he would just lose. And ultimately, because of the votes against Goku, which is stupid because ultimately these two great heroes are awesome, and they should never be put in a death battle to where one of them needs to kill the other. That's just stupid. I've always hated that about death battle. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of battles I wouldn't mind actually officially happening that would be canon, but that's not, even with that, it's not really officially canon because it doesn't count when you got people voting. You know? Why should that ever be? You know, like, who's going to actually win, and when you pick a certain amount, they're going to win. That's unfair to that character, you know? Personally, I think that characters that are involved in a battle royale or a tournament like that should have been just in a fair match. And that's not a fair match if it has to be a death battle. And see, Goku always believed in being fair about everything. I know I'm talking quite a long ways here, but I just have to say that with Goku, he had his moments. And he loved being fair. I think Superman wanted to be fair too, but the way they rolled out the death battle, that's not fair at all. To me, I don't think it was fair to either one of them that they actually had to die, because I like both characters. I really do. They had a lot of good design with them, and even though a lot of it's BS with the transformations and stuff like that, what makes it even more worse of it being BS is that Superman may not be able to do it, but he can still beat those. It's like, what's the point or even the purpose of doing that? And by the time that they did 2 battles against Superman, they didn't even have Ultra Instinct yet. So Ultra Instinct, or Master Ultra Instinct, whatever you want to call it, did not exist yet. So I gotta say though that even with that, I'm not sure he would have won, because you had to have people who had be all against Goku because, oh, forget him, we like Superman better, so screw you, Kakarot, or whatever the hell you are, you piece of crap. I mean, or you, Sean Shamil, whatever your name is, that doesn't, or whatever your character. I mean, because I think personally that it should have been more of a fair fight. Personally, I really do. And there's no getting around the fact that we'll never see a better battle if it was more fair. Sorry, but it's not fair when nor is it any more fair to have people voting against one or the other, so the other one can be so much more powerful, and then they can, because of the votes. That's not fair at all. Personally, I think the world needs to be more equally open-minded about things, more to the point that everybody treats everybody with equal respect, and be so equal. We don't have to have the same mindset. We don't have to be the same kind of person to be equal. I don't personally think nor believe in that. I just believe that we need to be equal towards each other, like we're equal individuals, instead of looking down upon each other like, man, you're a piece of crap. What the hell would want to do with you anyway? You're a piece of crap, and nobody wants to love you. Nobody wants to respect you or wants you on this world. Even though this world is shareable, if you believe in God. And I'm not going to say like, oh, well, even that doesn't necessarily mean I say, God doesn't exist or that He does. It's just that if you want to follow, no matter what it is, you have to believe that this world is shareable. Otherwise, we wouldn't have what we have today. Even though that we still have people that are so oblivious to the idea that, oh, well, I don't want to share this world with that a-hole, that loser, man. What the hell? I wouldn't want to share my world with you because I don't like you. Even if you screw me over, I don't want you around, you a-hole bastard. Son of a bitch. I hate your guts. I don't want you around. I wish you'd die, you faggot, miserable piece of crap. And that's the way, because that's how people judge others. And they're not open-minded. You know? And that's not me talking. That's people who are so judgmentalist or judgmentalist that they don't care about whether or not life should be shareable and whether or not life should be, where we have a peaceful reign, we're all equal, and we don't have to worry about, oh, well, somebody's going to kill us or something because they didn't agree with us or something, or I didn't agree with them or whatever, or we don't have the same mentality where we think the same all the way through and have all the same beliefs instead of having different ones or growing apart till eventually our beliefs change. I think that's just stupid. I think it should be that, and as a matter of fact, there used to be this old belief that if you didn't have the same beliefs, you couldn't be friends. That's just stupid. That means you have nothing in common if you didn't have all the same beliefs, which meant that you would have to go back to the older teachings, because that is what it is basically. But you're cutting out the words to it. That's the difference. There's no mentality differently there. So it's just basically the same thing, only you're forgetting some words here. That you have to be the same mind. You have to be the same exact person. You can't be like a female or whatever the case may be, or whatever. You just can't be this or that. You can't even be a person who's got a different color. You can't be that, because you have to be what I am. Not me personally, but for the record, just I'm saying. But anyone else, or you'd be killed or something, or seen as a witch. I mean, it's so stupid, and it's racist too. Because unfortunately, we do live in a racist world. We do. No matter how many times we have people putting out there for rights and all this crap about this and that, it ain't gonna change. We'll always have people against other people. People going against other colors and stuff like that. Always gonna have that. Even Star Trek had that, except that they weren't doing it about because of their color, but because they were human. Like, you wouldn't know, you're just a human. And the thing is, they didn't really think of it as racist, but it was still sort of racist. But that's the way things go. Anyway, I want to let you go. And I'll do one more video before I go and make that a Suikoden update video. Then I'm going to head to bed. But I don't have anything to update you about for Final Fantasy IV. I'm sorry this ran on longer than I wanted it to, but I just had a lot to say. I forgot why I brought it all up, but anyway, hopefully you get the idea and why I had to say it. But if you don't, well,